Boom! What's going down, you guys? Byron Rogers here. Hey, sorry I'm not able to be there. I wanted to be. I got a bunch of crazy stuff going down at work today, but um, still wanted to make a video for you guys, just to say a few things. It's probably off topic. I'm not sure what Gonz is going to be doing. I know you guys are going to have an awesome special guest, and I believe it's going to be Boone. And hey, Boone, what's up, brother? Love what you're doing. Appreciate you. Your contribution's huge. You're saving lives. You're the man, and I look forward to one day shaking your hands, brother, for real, man. So, what I was thinking about just saying to you guys, something that's been on my heart is, hey, what's the one thing you can't run from? You know, the one thing I want to encourage you to do today, the one thing you can't get away from no matter what you do that affects your whole entire life. I want to encourage you today, man, to make sure, I want to encourage you today to be brave enough to face your own life. You know, like, there's so much going on, and the way that our like society works is it's so easy to get like distracted and to let things that matter so much less distract us from what really matters, from doing what's most important. Just a little bit, you know. It's so easy. It happens so fast. Like, one of the dynamics that's been driving me crazy, I've been wanting to make a few videos about, is the whole fantasy thing. You know, the whole. I heard some kids talking the other day, and I was talking with one of my buddies the other day too. He was mentioning this to me. He said he talked to some people the other day, and they said they like fantasy more than they like actual real life. Like, he asked them, like, hey, what do you prefer, fantasy or real life? And they're like, oh, I prefer my fantasy, my video games, man. And I was like, yo, what's up, you guys? What's up, Omar? What's up, Wendy? Good to see you. Thanks for joining me. And they're like, yeah, I like my fantasy better. And there's a number of different people I've talked to, and I've seen this dynamic at work. You know, one of the most powerful things I think I've ever done in my life is transition and transition from just drifting through life to driving through life, and going from like playing with a false reality into reality creation. It's like this whole kind of like synergy and momentum like actually really picks up when you start being like, you know what? I'm going to create this thing, because the truth is, you've created this thing by the grace of God where you're at right now, and you got to create. You know, you're going to create like two things are, until you die, two things are going to happen. Time's going to pass and change is going to happen no matter what. The difference in people that I work with, and difference in people in the world, is just that some people take responsibility for it and take control of the dynamic, and some people don't take control of the dynamic and don't take responsibility for it, and thus are just the result of happenstance. And they think they're a victim to this dynamic, but at any moment you want, you can turn it up, turn it on, and take control over it and start fighting. You know, it's not that you're going to win. It's not that you're going to get what you want to get. That depends on how smart you are and how strong your will is, right? There are ways to do that. But the reality is, you can fight. You can fight. You know, you can like do what you can do. And the thing is, like, so many people get wrapped up around like, oh, I want to be successful, I want this, I want that, you know. And it's like, yeah, like maybe you'll get there. You will get there if you're consistent and you're intelligent and you evolve. You will get there. That's how it all happens. Sometimes you win, sometimes you learn, but as long as you continue trying, right, that gap you need, that space you need in reality, that's going to make it so that you have an opportunity to learn and evolve, that's going to be given to you by your will and your ability to continue trying, right? And the result of you getting what you want is going to have to do with how smart you become, well, how much you can figure out, how quickly you can figure out how to solve the equation in life that you're being presented with. You know, you hear me talk about it a lot, but I'm going down the rabbit hole. The point is, you know, I believe that fantasy was designed for us, was a tool given to us by, you know, our creator, who built all this amazing stuff we have here on the planet to survive and support human life, all some billion different systems working synergistically to support our human lives. By our creator, we were given this ability to fantasize, to imagine, to use our imaginations, you know, to experience alternate realities. Why? How? To create reality. That's what I believe. I believe the faculty of fantasy, the faculty of imagination, and I know Albert Einstein's down with this because he talks about it a lot, is the faculty of the imagination and all those different things is really been given to us in order to help us create reality. And one of the dynamics I see in our world right now that's kind of scary is a lot of people prefer fantasy over reality. And I believe that has to do with the fact that, one, they're not aware that they're creating their reality. And two, they don't know if they have what it takes. They don't know if they can. You know what I mean? Like the day I decided to turn the radio off and be like, yo, like Eminem, like I like them beats. I was young, but I was like, I'm not mad at my mom, and I don't know if I'm feeling everything you're saying. You know what? Stop. I'm gonna think my own thoughts. I'm gonna stop listening to music with words. You know, and then the day that I was like, look, I'm gonna stop watching TV. What has TV ever given me? You know, and I stopped, and I was like, I'll watch a movie when I want to watch a movie. The movie I want to watch, that's what I'll watch. But no one's going to be getting me with television programming, you know what I mean? I'm going to think my own thoughts, so come get me, you know? And then I went in, I started listening to, like, soundtracks to movies, and I listened to House and Trance and stuff like that, because it helped me think, and it helped me think deeply. And then I became deliberate about creating my reality. And guys, it's been one of the most fulfilling and rewarding journeys I've ever been on in my entire life. It's been one of the most rewarding and fulfilling journeys I've ever been on in my entire life. Far before getting what I wanted. I don't even have what I want. But I'm able to like live this life where I'm like fulfilling things that I want along the way. I'm experiencing fulfillment every single day. It doesn't matter how much money you make. Fulfillment and happiness are priceless. They are not things you can buy anyway. So you learn to chase your dreams, you learn to chase your passions, and that's what gives you these invaluable things that life has to offer. The money will never give you those things. But the day that I chose to stop just like living in fantasies and I wish and watching TV and playing video games, I love video games, okay? I love video games. The day I stopped doing all that stuff because it wasn't getting me anything, is the day that I took control of my reality and started trying to create it for myself. And then once I started to see some progress on that journey, it started taking on a life of itself. Momentum started to happen. I started to learn what? The most important thing in the world, wait for it, that I could. Boom. That I could, man. That I actually had the power to affect this trash. And when I learned that I had the power to affect this stuff, that's when I started to be like, you know what? I can do stuff. Like I can actually do anything. You know, like with the veteran dynamic of suicide and with a lot of different things, the reason people don't start isn't because they don't have enough money, isn't because they don't have enough time, isn't because they don't have enough XYZ. Like Tony Robbins says, those are resources, man. Those are outside of you. If you're creative enough, if you're driven enough, if you're purposeful enough, if you're motivated enough, you can get all those assets. You got a good enough idea. You'll do what every other publisher, like the publisher of Harry Potter books did. You just take it to another editor and see if you can get a deal. You just take it to another publisher and see if you can get a deal. If you're motivated enough, you'll do what Sylvester Stallone did. You'll just take your movie to another publishing house and you'll get another deal. Like you'll find a way, Or sometimes you win, sometimes you learn, and you'll evolve, man. And the truth about the things we want to do with our lives is simply that right now that's not good enough. Like I want to be a singer. Right now you're not good enough. I want to be a motivational speaker. Right now you're probably not good enough. If you're at the beginning of your journey, you want me to be a realist with you, you're probably not good enough, dog. You know what you need to do is you need to put in the work. The best way to get what you want out of life is to become the person who deserves what it is you want out of life. So don't sit there and despise small beginnings and look in the mirror at yourself right now in your inadequate state because you haven't put in the work and think that you can't be something that only exists like 8 years away from you right now in the grind. And the grind and learning to become and evolve is so scary to people because it's a lot of work. But you got to remember, man, you're at the bottom of a mountain looking up at a mountaintop. You're at the bottom of a mountain looking up at a mountaintop. Of course it's scary. Of course it takes a lot. But the reason people don't get started I'm finding, is because they don't know that they can. Motivation is generally 3 things. It's having a plan, knowing your plan's going to work, and then it's having a plan, knowing that you can achieve that plan, and then it's knowing that plan's worth it. Having a plan, knowing you can achieve it, knowing that it's worth it. Most people can have a plan. How do you save money? Dude, just Google saving, spending. There's a billion apps that'll help you change your financial side picture, right? But then there's the second component, knowing that you can't achieve that goal. That's the funky part because that's where everybody gets lost, man. That's where it's just too stinky, man. Because if you haven't done it yet, and if you haven't been progressively and consistently pushing yourself, you can't know that you can. David's looking at Goliath, and they're like, "What makes this guy think he can do this?" He says, "I've killed the lion, I've killed the bear, and now, by the grace of God, I'm going to kill this Philistine." You need to know that you can, and therefore taking that first step to climb that mountain is what's most important. Like you hear Will Smith talk about, like, hey, I had to build a wall when I was younger, right? And he goes into this beautiful, like, explanation of how it really came down to laying one brick. We built this wall for a year and a half as little boys in my dad's shop, and me and my brother, and we built that wall one brick at a time. And he said, you can't look at the whole entire thing. You got to look at the brick by brick. Every single thing in this life is made up that same way. Action by action, brick by brick, step by step. Your body's over 50 trillion cells, cell by cell. Every single result you experience in reality is created the exact same way, brick by brick, step by step, cell by cell. Wait for it, decision by decision. So what I want you to do is I want you to think about, like, what is it going to take to face your life? You can't run from your life. You know what I mean? Your life is a product of what you created. Your life is going to be a product of what you've created. It's a product of what you've created so far by the grace of God. It'll be what you want it to be. But you've got to be dedicated to working hard to get what you want out of this life. It's the beauty of the way things are made here. You don't get what you don't deserve. You're a human being, not a human doing. Life's about who you're being, man. It's about who you're becoming. And you've got to internalize the strength, and you've got to internalize the character, and you've got to internalize the skill sets in order to get what you want out of life. Otherwise, even if you get what you want and you don't internalize and learn those lessons and become, developed entirely before you get what you want, you'll lose it. You look at lottery winners and athletes that make a bunch of money before, like, getting the maturity to catch up with it, and singers and a lot of famous people show you this dynamic. But nonetheless, so what I want you to do is, like, think about it. What do you want your tomorrow to look like? You can't run from your life. Don't hide in fantasy rather than choosing to create your reality. I want you to make sure you're not hiding out in fantasy and substituting fantasy for reality creation. When you begin to say, this is what I want, and you begin to move towards that and say, you know what, I'm just going to get this audio book on the topic. I'm going to learn every single day. I'm going to, I'm just going to start writing down, like, what do I even want? Like, how do I know? Sit down, make a list of 20 things. Make sure you push yourself to 20 things. Don't quit. Push yourself to 20 things, because generally it's the 20th thing that's the deepest, that's the most thoughtful, that's the most valuable. Like, sit down and figure out what it is you want. And then from there, or what you think you want. It doesn't even have to be what you want. But once you get in motion, that's when the magic happens. That's when progress starts to help you out. Because then you think you want something you want, you go take a swing at it, you don't get it. You don't want that, but maybe you learned something on the journey. So then you're like, man, this part of that was really cool. I'm telling you, that's how it works. You just got to get in motion, right? And you got to realize you're at the bottom of a mountain, staring up at a mountaintop. And all you have to do is take one step. And if you can take that one step every single day, you're going to unlock a feeling of fulfillment. You're going to bring your life back to life. If you can take one step towards what it is you want to create that's in total alignment with you, your higher purpose, with what you want in your life, if you can take one step towards that every single day, you are going to feel better on a daily basis, because you're going to know you're going somewhere. So stop trading fantasy for reality. Your imagination, your faculty of fantasy was designed to help you create a reality that you are supposed to work towards and create and strive for the duration of your life. It's your life's work. That's what it's really all about. That's what imagination's for. That's what fantasy's for. It's for you to see an alternate reality. It's for you to see something that could be, that you love, and that can emotionally motivate you to create. Everything in this world, everything in the room around me, everything in the room around you was created 2 times using these principles that I talked to you about. And one, through fantasy, through imagination, through perception, and then it was created a second time in this physical reality because of an individual's ability to be faithful and to work hard and to believe and to acquire all the physical attributes necessary to create that thing. So, hey, if this video helped you, share it. Visit me at ByronRogersMotivation.com. Download the first chapter